Innovating Education Learning World in association with WISE, an initiative of Qatar Foundation.
Investing in human resources is at the core of some Gulf countries' economic strategies. They believe that education is a must in order to develop knowledge-based economies. This week on Learning World, we look at some higher education and training programs in Abu Dhabi, Qatar and Bahrain. Does getting into an elite university always mean moving far away? In Abu Dhabi, the Education Council acknowledges that domestic universities have poor international rankings. So, they're looking at importing best practice from other universities around the world. Let's take a look at this example.
For hundreds of years, Paris has been the only destination for anyone dreaming of studying at the Sorbonne, one of the world's most prestigious institutions. But since 2009, the Sorbonne has also been based in Abu Dhabi, in the United Arab Emirates, part of a national plan to raise higher education.
There's a real wish to form an elite in the UAE to replace working foreigners who currently hold the positions of responsibility. Our university, like all the other universities, will form this elite. We'll do it the French way, which is a little bit different. The second point is that in developing the economy, the UAE wants to create a real platform of access to international education here in the Middle East. So it's also an economic operation.
The UAE wants to finance a francophone university in a country dominated mainly by anglophone education, and they've encouraged the Sorbonne to bring typically the same experience it has back in France. This includes a mixed campus with the same curricula, a French diploma, and even teachers who fly over from Paris.
We have to teach to a public which is not exactly the same as we have back in France. So that is a challenge, which means that we must, in a certain way, find ways to relate what we know to what the people here want to hear. There's another challenge, which people do not really talk about. It's a challenge for us in France. French education system hasn't changed much. And these new experiences abroad actually bring us a lot of new knowledge and a lot of new blood.
The Sorbonne in Abu Dhabi offers more than its famous traditional subjects like law. It's developed a Master's in History of Art and Museum Studies to address the Emirates' ambition to become a cultural hub, and even built partnerships with local institutions like the Khalifa University. But local students still favour foreign campuses.
The teachers' experience, the curriculum, the system they have is by far way more professional, way more experienced than the other universities here in this country.
700 students from 65 different nationalities study here. It's a reflection of the population and also a good opportunity for the Sorbonne to implement its motto, a bridge between civilizations.
Branches of foreign universities are also popular in Qatar, which has set itself an ambitious goal of becoming a world leader in scientific research. With 2.8% of its revenues spent on these kinds of studies, Qatar is one of the top 5 countries when it comes to spending on innovation.
2.8% of Qatar's GDP goes towards scientific research, and a national research strategy was announced at the end of 2012. The country is doing its best to develop scientific research and human capacity to extend its economy beyond hydrocarbon resources.
Committing 2.8% of government revenues is essentially aspiring to be among the top 5 nations in terms of research. And Qatar also has certainly an interest in being a leader in the region and also be a partner and collaborator in the region. But I think it would be fair to say that our ambitions are to be truly leaders in the world in a few areas where we intend to concentrate.
Building the right infrastructure is what this country aims to do to provide its future generations with a full research ecosystem. And for this purpose, it has brought foreign expertise and has developed many educational programs like the Qatar Science and Leadership Program. The City of Qatar Foundation serves as a hub for several universities.
Part of our mission in Qatar is not only to do good science, but also to build future generations in terms of their ability to conduct good science by themselves. So training becomes critical. It's an essential component. So our program is structured with training spanning the entire spectrum of all what we do.
These college researchers have sequenced the genome of the date palm. Biomedics is one of 5 national priorities specific to local needs. But other areas such as energy, IT, the arts and Islamic studies are also important. Wada is one of many students who've been working hard to tackle health problems.
The problem was explaining to people in their language, their daily language, what genes are, the goals of research and hereditary characteristics, and how research can help diabetes.
Students from different nationalities can also benefit from a scholarship scheme to continue postgraduate studies abroad. The only condition is they're required to go back and work in Qatar.
Education is vital to developing skills needed in the workplace. And in Bahrain, many organizations are giving young Bahrainis the training they need to compete in a business world full of expatriates. We look at one project now.
Mohammed, a young Bahraini, has completed his training as a car mechanic, an unusual job in other parts of the Gulf where cultural stigmas exist. Such professions are not valued, and expatriates replace high-salaried locals to fill the gap. Bahrainis took up all the new jobs of the post-oil exploration era and are now being encouraged to further diversify their choices and take up lower-skilled jobs.
I got attached to working on cars when I was a kid at the age of 12, because I used to see my uncles working with cars themselves. I wanted to develop this job, and I started looking for a training program to get enrolled in so I could get skilled, certified and experienced. So I joined the National Institute for Industrial Training. They offered me the program and they got me a job in the same field.
Mohammed is one of many young people who've joined Tamkeen, or Enabling, a state-backed project that aims to empower Bahrainis who can contribute to the kingdom's future economic development vision by 2030. And at its core is diversifying the economy and developing job skills that meet market needs.
In Bahrain, we are following a strategy of elevating the value of professions, elevating the value of jobs, improving working conditions. All of these elements will enable Bahrainis to penetrate the market in a more facilitated fashion. And Bahrain's reforms focus on providing a lot of opportunities for Bahrainis to compete not only locally but internationally.
Tamkeen has developed 150 skill programs in collaboration with foreign companies to empower Bahrain's youth to rise up the career ladder in every profession and sector. Human capacity development and enterprise are also a key focus. Nearly 50% of Tamkeen's training programs are taken up by females, and their wages in the public sector surpass their male counterparts.
Many of the financial institutions operating in Bahrain require a tremendous amount of qualified people. There is a huge gap within the country, and so what we have done is identified those gaps, identified exactly the positions that are available in the marketplace. We designed a training program for that. We recruited Bahrainis into those programs, we trained them, and many of these Bahrainis are actually either found jobs or in the process of seeking employment.
In 2012 alone, over half the graduates on Tamkeen's training programs found employment.
Well, that's it from us for this week. Let us know your thoughts about education reform in the Gulf. Goodbye from all the Learning World team. See you again next week.
Learning World in association with WISE, an initiative of Qatar Foundation.